What's up, guys? It's Marty Sleva here with Steve Butts.
Hey, Marty.
Hey, and we are at the San Diego Comic-Con 2013 in front of the Watch Dogs booth.
Oh my gosh!
I know,
here we
crazy,
are,
which is really fortunate because we're about to talk about Watch Dogs. Steve, you saw a Watch Dogs demo just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Well, so it's the same sort of setup that we saw at E3, but the cool thing about Watch Dogs is that the game can change in so many different ways just based on what you're doing.
Yep.
So we saw the free roaming mode, where Aiden, the hacker that you play in the game, goes to the CTOS center to hack into the city's computer, which controls like all the Wi-Fi hotspots, all the stoplights, all the ATMs. But having done that, then he goes in a slightly different direction than we saw in the E3 demo. Now, we saw before, Aiden has the chance to intervene in crimes that are taking place in the city.
That's right.
So he sees the intended target of a crime, and he follows into an alley. Turns out very differently in this demo than it did in E3. When I saw it at E3, there was like a huge car chase and a shootout, and several people died, and they thought, hey, you can be a hero in this game. And I'm thinking, that doesn't seem so heroic to me. In this case, though, he stops, I guess it's a pimp. They never make it explicit, but they stop a guy from basically beating up a girl who seems to work for him, right? And he does it in a way that is way less lethal. He hops in the car, he's chasing the guy, but instead of shooting it out on a bridge with a big car crash, he causes some blockers to come up, like they have in some parking decks, right? And the guy just stops, and you get 25 reputation points, and suddenly people in the city like you a little bit more. So.
I love hearing that, because one of my big fears was that, Watch Dogs looks great, but I thought it was going to have this sort of streamlined, cinematic feel to it. But it feels like the game really does have these dynamic systems in play where, depending on how you act, the missions will change and the effects that you have on the world will be different.
Absolutely. We saw them double down a little bit on the multiplayer stuff that they talked about, because in Watch Dogs, other players can come into your game and mess with you. So we saw, as we saw in the E3 demo, another player come into the game and begin hacking Aiden. Now, your job at that point is to find the other guy and shut it down. So we found him, we shut it down, but we went a little further than we did at E3. This time, Aiden went and found that other player's game and went into his world and began hacking him. So we got to see the hacking gameplay from the active player's side. So our Aiden was hiding in a car, and then he was the one fleeing from the other player. It was amazing.
Seriously, in terms of like next-gen systems, like more than just graphics and sound and everything, it feels like Watch Dogs is bringing a lot of cool ideas to the table that, honestly, a lot of games right now just aren't capable of doing without the power of, PS4 and Xbox One. And I shouldn't have said without the power of that.
Well, a lot of game demos, do that cheap thing where at the very end of the demo they pull the camera back and, oh my gosh, look at all the dots of light on the map. But Watch Dogs, I think, really does it better than any other game we've seen pull that off.
I'm really excited about it, and honestly, this November can't come soon enough for me. So for more on Watch Dogs and more on San Diego Comic-Con 2013, stay tuned right here on IGN.